Hi, welcome to session. Today we discuss about the cost accounting. In that we find out the sources of funds. We are running the particular organization based on the find out the what are all the sources of the funds. Business transaction increasing the working capital are termed as the sources of funds. Issue of news, how to collect the sources of funds. In first issue of new shares, debentures, raising of loans, depreciation on fixed asset, profits, etc. are some of the example of sources of funds. Based on that, we discuss about the one by one in elaborate way. Funds from operations or operational profit. Profit generated out of the core operational activities of an organization are regarded as one of the most important long-term sources of funds, as it net profit increases the activity before its partial distribution to owners in the form of dividends. As against this, the net loss incurred by an organization decrease the equity. The investment in working capital is the enhanced or reduced as a result of net profit or the net loss. We find out the increase or decrease working capital. It is the net profit loss due to the fact expenses. Second one is issue of shares. That issue of shares is nothing but one of the way of collecting the funds. Sources of funds is particular organizations or company issuing the shares, collecting through the particular money. The transaction relating to issue of shares for cash is the source of fund. In that, non-current liability is created by the inflow of funds. The net proceeds of the issue need to be considered as the sources of plus amount of share premium is created by the considered as the sources of funds. In that, there are capital amount minus the discount amount is considered the sources of funds. Based on that, we are collecting the issue through the amount issue of share. In that, we calculate the issue of debentures. Debentures is a non-current liability for the issue. Its issue result in an increase cash, which is a current asset. However, the entire flow, it is not considered as a sources of funds. Only the net proceeds need to be treated as a source of funds. Net proceeds are arrived by including the amount of debenture premium. It is a debenture discount. Issue of debentures is the one of the sources of funds. Next one is raising long-term loans. Raising long-term loans like deposits, mortgages loans, etc. It is the inflow of funds. It is the increased availability of working capital. It is the considered as sources of funds. Short-term loans, there is a inflow of funds but does not increase the availability of working capital because of the fact along with an increase in the current asset. The next one is sale of fixed asset. It is the one of the way of sources of funds. In case of sale of any fixed asset, non-current asset like land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, fixture, etc. It is an inflow of funds which is treated as a sources of funds. We know the what are all the current asset. Apart from that, other asset are called as fixed asset. One fixed asset is exchanged for another one. There is no inflow of funds and no current assets are involved, and as such it is not considered as the sources of funds. Next one is sources of funds. It is the non-trading receipts. Receipts of inflow of non-trading nature, example, dividend, tax refund, rental income, etc., result in an increase in funds and as such needs to be considered as a source of funds. Net decreasing in working capital. The negative mismatch between the sources of funds and application of funds result in the net decreases of the working capital. It is the based on net decrease in working capital. These are all the sources of funds. Thank you.